All right, so you guys, this is going to be an overview of the 4-week gut protocol program. The 4-week gut protocol program was created by Autumn Calabrese a couple years ago now, and we were actually challenged by her directly to test the program. So Mike and I were heading on a trip, and we said, "Well, we'll give you 1 week." Because we're traveling. And in that 1 week period of time, it was remarkable the transformation that we saw. And it has from that point forward really been a staple for us in terms of generally how we eat in the house. But over the last 3 months, and I've shared this with you guys, after turning 47, I took a course in perimenopause, menopause with Dr. Stacy Sims. I read a ton of books and watched a lot of training and really decided after my well visit in March that I am not going to accept this. Well, you're 47, so you're going through hormonal change. So that's just normal because I didn't feel normal. I didn't feel like myself or feel good. And so what I decided to do was implement 3 things. It was more movement in my day, and that means getting my steps in. 7,500 to 10,000 steps a day is my target goal every day. So that was number one. Number two is a fitness plan to complement my nutrition because really nutrition stands alone as the most important piece of this puzzle. But as far as fitness is concerned, and we're not going to talk too much about that right now, I'm happy to give you guys individual ideas. But generally speaking, you're looking for something that includes strength training and low to no impact cardio work. So what we have in the group is a great calendar you can follow. I'm following a calendar that's a hybrid of Lift More and Bar Blend. That's a great option too. And honestly, the companion fitness program to the 4-week gut protocol, which is called 4 weeks for everybody, that would be a great option for you as well. Looking ahead into the summer as we continue, there is a new program called Lava, which the sample workouts now, I can send it to you guys. You can try it. That program is perfection for women's health, strength training, flexibility, mobility, cardio, and core. But the cardio is 0 to low impact. It's wonderful. I just did it this morning and I'm really excited to be able to share that with you guys. Okay. So the 4-week gut protocol is, as its name sounds, a 4-week program that focuses on your gut health. The idea behind the program is to remove trigger foods that create inflammation in the body, to reduce other foods that are generally not so great for your gut. It's to add in, replenish your body with nutrient dense foods that you're probably lacking or you're lacking in one of 2 ways. You're not getting enough of it, or you're not getting the diversity that your body needs. And then at the end, it's a reintroduction process. It's the 4 R's, a reintroduction process where we add back in some of those foods that we removed to see what really your body likes and what it doesn't like so much. And what I learned personally for myself is that dairy is a no-go. I mean, honestly, if I eat it, I'm going to be bloated and feel really uncomfortable for probably at least 2 days after the fact. And that's only having dairy once. If I have it regularly and there's a buildup, well, then I'm going to be perpetually in this state of tummy issues. So I've learned that. I've also learned that while gluten isn't my friend, my body doesn't react in quite as an extreme way as it does with dairy. So here and there, not such a big deal. Generally speaking, I've removed it also from my diet, my nutrition. This is going to be an individual piece for each of you guys at the end of the program so you can determine what should be reintroduced and maybe what should stay out. But you'll most certainly know going forward, okay, if I'm going to choose to have that ice cream, I know I'm going to feel badly the next couple of days, but I'm also going to know how to get myself back on track. So the gut protocol program, there's a few key sort of pieces to it. So when we're removing these trigger foods like gluten and dairy. When we're reducing things like caffeine and we're reducing added sugars. I'm going to give you a little bit of women's health in here also. So for example, for the gut protocol, Autumn Calabrese wants you to keep your added sugars below 10 grams. In my mind, The lower, the better. So if you can keep it even less than 10 grams, perfect. And when we're talking about sugar, we're not talking about sugar that naturally occurs in fruit. We're talking about you look at the label and it says added sugars and it says however many grams. Like, for example, if you drink Energize like I do, I know there's 2 grams of added sugar in my scoop of Energize. That's the sugar that we're talking about, not what's in your blueberries, strawberries, and all of your great, delicious fruit that you're eating. So we're going to reduce sugar. We're going to reduce caffeine. And here, a quick note on caffeine. I know that coffee may be a very big part of your routine and your day and your mindset. And listen, I was a huge coffee drinker myself. I did our reset program, which is kind of similar to this, and I knocked out coffee for 3 weeks and I've never gone back to it. Yeah, I love coffee. So periodically I'll grab myself a Rook, which if you're local to New Jersey area, you know what I'm talking about, and it's really good. But generally speaking, that is not where I get my caffeine source from. I get it from Energize. The caffeine delivery source is different. This is green tea leaves versus obviously coffee beans. So I've noticed a difference. But if you are obsessed with your coffee, this program would have you limiting it to 3 times a week, which isn't very much. But here's why. If you look at this as a finite period of time right now, these 4 weeks, we are trying to repair and restore your gut health. Caffeine is really acidic. So if we can remove that, hey, Christine, if we can remove that from the equation for just a period of time, your gut health is going to start healing. So something to think about. If you're panicked out about the idea, we could talk about it. Maybe we can at least reduce it down if you're having multiple cups of coffee a day. Maybe it's just one. And then we're just really watching what you're adding into it because we're backing out dairy and we're backing out added sugar. So something like unsweetened almond milk, that would be okay for you if you really want to have your coffee. I get it. And this isn't meant to be like a program where you're depriving yourself in any capacity. This is like, I'm deciding to feel better. So these are the things that I'm going to be putting into play. In terms of adding into your nutrition, you may seem overwhelmed if you have listened to the 4 lessons, which I'll show you in just about a minute, when she suggests 30 different like fruits and vegetables, basically eat the rainbow over the course of the week. I know that can seem overwhelming, but listen, believe me, it's easily accomplished. And here's a quick example. I'm often eating some variation of a bowl or a salad at lunch. Do you know when you go into the grocery store and you get that like mix of spring mix lettuce? There's like 5 different kinds of lettuce in there. Boom, you've just had 5 different kinds of veggies. I add in carrots and cucumbers and tomatoes and peppers and sprouts, and I have hit 10 different veggies just in one meal. And that's only one meal of my entire week. So it's completely doable. I don't want you guys to worry that you're like, oh gosh, this is an insurmountable sort of mountain for me to manage. And that is why, if you look in the group, we have given you guys some recipe ideas because truthfully, the women that I'm running this group with and myself, we basically live this lifestyle. So if you're like, and I would imagine many of you are going to be falling into a similar bracket when you calculate where you should be, which I'll show you also. And so if you have questions of like what a simple meal plan might look like, go refer to that to the group. We've shared a lot of different ideas with you. In some ways, if you're okay with, and I don't want to say it's monotony because I truly enjoy my breakfast and I really enjoy my lunch and I do change it up to some degree, but if you're all right with keeping some things similar throughout the course of the week, it'll just make it much easier for you, especially if you're busy with kids and work and all that stuff that kind of piles up. So, all right. I'm going to assume that all of you guys are brand new to body who are listening to this, even though I know some of you are not. But step one, I'm going to encourage you to put the Body app, BODI, on. You can put it on your phone, you can put it on your TV, you can put it on any device you like. You can have it on multiple devices. To log in, it's just your email and your password. For me personally, I access Body primarily in 3 ways, either on my phone, of course, if I'm on the go and I'm in the grocery store and I want to look up something or for tracking purposes. I use it on my TV when I do my workouts. And then I actually go to teambeachbody.com on my laptop when I want to learn. And you can access Body through teambeachbody.com as well as through the app. When you do, you'll see Body at the top. And again, the login information is just your email and password. You shouldn't have to do that more than once on the app. You're not going to have to keep logging in on your laptop. Every time you log into the website, you do have to plug it in. All right. So when I'm sharing my screen now, which I'm going to do, you are going to be obviously seeing the version of Body that's the laptop version, but it's pretty much identical to the way it's laid out on the app. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I've already clicked the top bar for Body, and this is what pops up. I'm already logged in. And so what I wanted to show you is if you hover over here, there's a home section, which it looks like this. And what is cool about the homepage, and this is what's going to pop up if you're on your TV or phone too, the workouts that you've been doing are going to pre-populate up top. So you don't have to go searching for them all the time. There's some other informational stuff on the homepage. You can see our 3 funnels here of fitness, nutrition, and mindset. Are blocks. Anytime you hear the word block, think 4-week progressive build program. These are really awesome. They've been created by our super trainer. For example, I mentioned to you I was doing a hybrid of lift more and bar blend. I'm doing the blocks. So if you look at the super block, here's bar blend, and lift more will be somewhere along here. But these were all, these are all brand new programming that has been, hold on, I'll go back to it, that has been shared in this past year. It's really incredible. It's 5 days a week, about 20 to 30-minute workouts. And the other one I want to show you is right here. It's the 4 weeks for everybody. This is the companion workout to the 4-week gut protocol. There's both a super block and a full program. Baxter, shush. No matter what you choose, and I'll go into this one real quickly, everything is set up the same way. There's a start here section with an overview. Then there's their workouts. You guys, there's no guesswork. It's like week 1. Here's week 1, day 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 weeks for everybody's only 4 days a week. So it allows for, and I think it's perfect for the summer, it allows for you guys to get your walks in or to do something else you enjoy. Maybe it's hopping on a bike, maybe it's taking whatever your summer activity is, a hike, whatever, but it's very doable. So you've got everything set up for you. There's 0 guesswork. Your 4th week is typically an active recovery week in the blocks, but because this is a 4-week program, you're going to still see a 4-week workout calendar there. There's bonus stuff here. If you have access to a bike, there's rides. If you don't, it's fine too, because there's tons of content here. And then you have program materials, which is a calendar. But to be honest with you, I don't even look at a calendar anymore, because when you go in here, it literally says for your workouts, week 1, day 1, and so on and so forth. So if you are unsure what to do in terms of fitness, I would recommend either doing that program, the 4 weeks for everybody program, because it matches with the 4-week gut protocol. Or if you look at it and you're like, I need something, no equipment, I'm traveling, or you know what, I'd rather do something different, or I want to work with a different trainer or whatever, just shoot me a message and we'll make sure that you're situated with a plan so that you have something to start on Monday. All right, so enough of the fitness. Let's go into programs, which there's fitness there too. You guys, this is what I was referencing when I said I did a 20-minute workout that I thought is wonderful for women's health. It's a coming soon program. This will be our summer focus, but there is a sample workout here you guys can push play on if you want to give it a try. But we have featured program, most popular program specials, and then the nutrition center. And this is where I wanted to bring you guys and specifically go into the 4-week gut protocol. Now, you all have access to the 4-week gut protocol. You also have access to our other 2 lifestyle nutrition plans, which is Portion Fix and 2B Mindset. They are all set up exactly the same way. You've got your start here section, you have your lessons, recipe videos, and I will show you for every video, there's a PDF. So if you don't want to watch the video, you don't have to, and resources. Up front, and the most important thing I would ask of you guys to do before Monday is listen. excuse me, to these 4 videos. You can see they are so short, 6 minutes, 5 and 10. So you are going to understand this program, if you don't already, in a very, very short period of time. The 4 R's we've already touched on. That's your removal, reducing, and all that good stuff. Autumn goes through that with you in this first 6-minute video. The add it in, that's the second 6-minute video. That's things like, we didn't touch on fermented foods, but she's going to want you to add fermented foods into your nutrition 3 times a week. So for example, this morning, I know this is going to sound like really wacky, but I had a bowl and I had 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut in it. Sauerkraut's a fermented food. And you're like, oh, I don't know. And I might not have ever considered that either, but it's really good. So for me, my 2 fermented foods that are go-tos are sauerkraut and miso soup, but I will show you more information on that. The other added ins are your supplements that you're optimized and you're revitalized. So your optimized are your digestive enzymes. Your goal, if you can remember, is to take them 20 to 30 minutes prior to your meals. They work best that way. They're going to help you with digestion. And when you're taking those, you're going to also take your revitalize, which are your pre and probiotics. And of course, you guys are probably all familiar with the value and benefit of pre and probiotics, but they are helping your gut microbiome rebalance. So the added in is also going to talk about those 30 different fruits and veggies that she's looking for you guys to add into your nutrition on a weekly basis. And for many of you guys, if you are familiar with our old portion fix, you are going to see a change in your containers in the sense that you probably used to get something like 4 greens a day, which are your vegetables. You're now getting 6. So we're adding in nutrient dense foods that we might not otherwise have in our nutrition. And it's easy to do it. You guys will blow your own minds at the simplicity of this, but obviously we'll do it together. So take a listen to that video. Calculating your health, I'm going to jump into this with you, and colorful eating habits, I'm going to jump into. Watch these videos. What I wanted to show you guys is anytime you see these 3 dots, you can click into it. So here's an indication for you that there are 3 PDFs associated with this Calculate Your Health video. You'll also find these same PDFs up here in resources. But if you click into this, you can see really quickly, this is where we calculate the containers that you should be having on a daily basis. And there's 2 different options. There's your regular containers and then there's vegan. So I'm going to go into regular, but obviously if you are vegan, there's an option here for you, but just choose whichever is best for you. So this is a simple like math problem. Basically, you're going to be putting in your weight, times it by 11. That's your caloric baseline. Once you have your caloric baseline, you're going to kind of come into either one of these zones. Do you want to maintain weight? Do you want to lose weight? Or do you want to build muscle? If you want to just maintain your weight, your caloric baseline stays your caloric baseline. If you want to lose weight, you're going to take that caloric baseline and subtract 400 and you'll have your new calorie target. And if you want to build muscle, you're going to be moving up one plan. And so then once you figure out what that caloric number is, you're going to come over here and figure out which plan you fall into. If for whatever reason, somehow you're below this 1200 number, you're in plan A. Don't take any containers away. Do plan A. And I'm going to say this to you guys. If you are ever feeling hungry, which you should not on this plan, you should feel satisfied and satiated. Let me know, because maybe we need to tweak your reds. Your reds are your proteins. Depending upon what you're doing for fitness, it might be a little different. You might need a little bit more to be properly fueling your body. So anyway, let's look at plan A. This is having you have 6 greens, which are veggies. If you guys haven't gotten your container system yet, and I know some of you may not have, just keep in mind that your green, I can send you like a cheat sheet, but your green container is a cup. So you'll know green and purple are actually both a cup for measurement purposes. So 6 cups of vegetables, 2 cups of fruits. Your reds are your proteins. You can see they're divided. So 2 red A's and 2 red B's. Red A's are what you would typically think of as proteins, probably like fish and eggs and meat and all that kind of stuff. And then your B proteins are plant-based proteins. So that's where if you have Shakeology, perfection. That is one of my red B's every single day. Beans will fall into this category. Like for example, I had chickpeas this morning. That's a red B. Quinoa falls into this. I will show you the food lists, which makes it really easy. Your yellows are your carbohydrates. You have 2 of them a day, and you can see these are also separated out. One of the goals of this program is introducing more plant-based foods into your nutrition. It just honestly makes your whole system work easier. And that doesn't mean knocking out, fish and chicken. It just means keeping things a little bit more balanced towards plant-based. Your blues are healthy fats. So think avocado, hummus, things like that. Those my blues. I wish I could just have like all the blues. They're my favorites. Oranges are your seeds and dressings, so that's a real easy one. And then your teaspoons are your oils and nut butters and stuff like that. Now, if I were to suggest you print anything out, and if this is new to you, I would just print this one page or take a screenshot of it so that you have it handy on your phone. And I'm gonna sort of segue real quickly here and just let you guys know that on the Body app, there is in the lower right-hand corner a tracking feature. And if this would be helpful to you, you can literally track your containers right through the app. The app is going to populate for portion fix and not gut protocol. If you want to use the tracker, ask me. I will show you how to edit it. There's not going to be much change, but for portion fix, you only get 4 greens, and for this program, you get 6. So if you want to see it sort of set up that way so you can click off your containers, you can do it on your phone as well. I have a paper version too. If you guys want, if you prefer pen and paper, I can send you that. So anyway, this is important. This is so that you can understand in your brain how what nutrition I'm getting and in what amounts. My tip when I'm looking at this, for most of you, this I'm sure is the case, but try to have veggies in all of your meals. You'll get through your 6. It's hard to get through your 6 though if you don't have vegetables either in all your meals or 2 of your meals and snacks, because 6 servings is just a lot. So, all right, let me jump out of that. That is an important calculate your health is an important video. And the last one is the colorful eating habits, which this I would suggest printing out. Let's just look at your food lists. This is, I mean, guys, anything you would think of as a vegetable or a green is probably listed here. There's really no exclusion, but you can kind of see that there is also some like indications like where you see a PB, like asparagus, 10 large spears, PB. And it says the PB next to some food stands for prebiotic, meaning they're considered a good source of fuel for your good gut bacteria. So as you're deciding what vegetables you want throughout the week, there are notations here to help you kind of pick, things that just might be a little bit better for me. There's asterisks next to some of these vegetables, which are saying that these items don't fit into a container. So just use the indicated amount. So again, for those asparagus, it says just 10 large. Don't try to shove them into your container. Then you've got your purple, your food list for your fruits. And I don't feel like anyone ever has trouble eating fruits, but fruits that are great for prebiotics, again, are listed with that PB next to it. And then that asterisk again is indicating you don't have to shove it into the container, just have what's indicated in the list. Here are your reds, and this is where I was mentioning to you guys the differentiation between your red A's and your red B's. Over here on the red A side, and every one of you guys will at least be having 2 servings of this, you're going to see things like tuna and turkey bacon and chicken and all the things you would imagine would be on your red A list. Over here, you have also your red meats. So for example, there's like, there's steak on here, but there's a notation. This is one of the areas where we're reducing. You're not taking red meat out of your diet, but we're looking to only have red meat once a week. Okay, so it's probably not that tricky for most of you, but just a note on that. And then your red bees, you can see Shakeology is listed as an appropriate red bee. It's a plant-based Shakeology, but you can also do tempeh, tofu, protein powder, beans, lentils, which I do a lot, edamame, and then peas, refried beans, and quinoa. This might be a little bit of a stretch for your imagination if you're not used to eating plant-based, but believe me, plant-based is easy, meaning quick most of the time, and it's also delicious in your meals. So that might be a little bit of a change for you, but it'll be a good one. Again, for your yellows, you're separating out your A's and B's. So up at top at A are things like your oatmeal. If that's something you guys enjoy, just make sure it's gluten-free. Your brown or your wild rice is up there in A. And then in B, like I might as well turn into a sweet potato. I love them. I have sweet potatoes all the time, but your sweet potatoes and things that are more plant-based are listed under your B, but also some recipes. And if you see fixate in front of any of these items listed, that means there is a recipe for you to follow for these things. You can see at the bottom, organic rice cakes is here. You probably will have noticed there is no processed food on this program really at all. Organic rice cakes are on here. If you guys feel like I need something crunchy, I need, I want that feeling and I just want to have like rice cakes with a couple teaspoons peanut butter, it's fine. Just, I wouldn't have them every single day. I used to have rice cakes every day and I'm like, that was as soon as I took them out on a daily basis, things started to change. So again, it's there. I just wouldn't probably have it on a daily basis. Your blues are here, your oranges are here, and your teaspoons are here. This is a PDF I would print out. I have it printed out. I still reference it sometimes, and I just think it makes it easier. But obviously, it's here in digital form if you want to do it that way. So you guys, the crux of this program is these 4 videos and those couple of resources. You're going to have to give yourself a little bit of grace as you're waiting for getting your packages in, and B, getting used to this. But I will tell you, like, we saw transformative change in a week. I took photos of my face. I have rosacea. The redness and inflammation was visibly gone within just a few days. The bloat and those excess pounds literally dropped for both Mike and myself. So give yourself a little grace. You will see change though in a very, very short period of time. Real quick, the recipe videos are in here as well. And then, like I said, all of your resources are here too. And there's extra resources in here that we haven't all gone through, but if you guys want to, you can print any of this stuff out. There's trackers, there's a stool chart, there's literally everything. And it's funny that there's a stool chart here, but I know we don't talk about poop all that much, but like back in the day, that's what people used to look at for an indicator of health. Like that's what the doctors looked at. So that is why it plays a role in this, because, unfortunately, if people are having gut issues, oftentimes it impacts their time in the bathroom. Okay, we'll leave it at that. You guys, there's one other tool that I want to show you here, which is up here in this search bar. So I think it's a very useful tool. Say you wanted to make something with chicken, you can just type in the word chicken. There are 118 recipes that'll come up. Here's what's cool. You can isolate for gluten-free. You can isolate for gut protocol, for high fiber, for any of these things. You can make an isolated search for them. So for example, I don't know why it's showing anything, nothing on my system should be locked. It's kind of weird that that's there, but whatever. Let's see if it clicks me in. Maybe, it's just weird. It you know what had happened? I think I got knocked out. Oh, I'm somehow jumped into Mike's account. We have gut protocol on mine. But anyway, you kind of get the gist of that. It's an opportunity to, that's so weird that just happened. I was in my account and it pushed me over to Mike's. You can search for, oh no, there's my head. Sorry, you guys, I'm talking to myself here. There we go. So you can go into any recipe, and this is 4-week gut protocol approved. It's, believe it or not, chicken fried steak. You can see here how it is indicating to you that this is a red. You're having half a yellow, And I guess this is the teaspoon, even though they should just show a teaspoon. That's so funny. If you don't want to watch the video, you don't have to. This is what I was referring to. You can just click on the PDF for the recipe and you can print it out right there, or just look at it on your, yeah, that's the teaspoon indicator. You can just look at it on your laptop, or you're making dinner, and you can see, like, obviously this isn't just chicken fried. That's the recipe, but she put green beans on here as well. And, that's the part where you'll have that flexibility where you're like, oh my gosh, I need to still get my vegetables in, or whatever you need left in terms of your containers. All right, so that's the gut protocol in a nutshell. It's a lot of information, but I think once you watch your 4 videos and kind of digest this call, it does all work together. And it does make a whole lot of sense. I don't know how there's fireworks behind me, but there are. I don't know how I created fireworks. But do you guys have any questions that you want to touch on here? And obviously you reach out to me, separately, one-on-one, and we'll go through this stuff together. But really the goal is for Monday, whether or not you have your package has arrived or not, the goal would be to let's nail down what you want to do in terms of fitness, and let's at least have a comprehensive understanding of the program, which, like I said, you'll have in those, less than 30 minutes of watching those videos. And since you've listened to this call, I think you'll feel really comfortable. If you want to start on Monday and you don't have your containers yet, I'm going to message you the container equivalent for cups. So like I said, the vegetables are a cup, the fruits are a cup, the red, which is your proteins, that's 2/3 of a cup, but I'll send you a quick cheat sheet so that you can see that. Because at the end of the day, the colorful containers are really just indicating portions for you and ensuring you're getting the right foods in the right amounts daily. You may come to me and say, I'm having a hard time getting all my containers in throughout the day. And that is common. And that is kind of where the meal plans sort of help, so that you sort of don't miss, because the idea is to get them all in. Believe it or not, you'll see a better result if you do all the containers versus like, oh, well, let me back out. I don't need this carb today. That's not the idea. The idea is for you to have all your containers and to just repair your gut health. And then you'll see that result internally and externally. All right. I promised myself I wouldn't keep you guys more than 30 minutes because it's Saturday morning, but do you guys have any?
Heather, I have a question.
Okay.
So I know you mentioned that the workouts were like 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're doing more, like let's say we're doing the workouts, but then we're doing walks, we're doing other things. Is there in that calculator, is there any like is there any adjustment for extra fitness in terms of the calorie?
Yeah, so that's a good question. If you were doing 4 weeks for everybody and walks, I would keep the calculator exactly as it is. If you're going to tell me, like I had a call with someone yesterday who is training for a half marathon, and I'm like, okay, we have to adjust these containers a little bit because you're going out on these 2-hour runs, and that's just not going to be enough. And so we kind of together adjusted the calculation. But a general rule of thumb for me would be, if you're doing, a dedicated fitness program that's more than like the 4 weeks for everybody, or one of our 5-day a week 20 to 30 minute workouts, then I would, look at your reds. You're probably going to need to increase a protein, and you're probably going to need to potentially increase a healthy fat, or a carb. So, but we could talk about that depending upon what it is you're going to do.
Okay. And then my other question is the meal plans that were shared
Yep.
on the Facebook page.
Yes.
They're all fall into the gut protocol as well, or
So
no?
mine do. The post that I posted all of those recipes. I purposely did it knowing that you guys were all doing this program. So mine all do. I will look at the other ones. I'm sure Jen Hornick's post also does, but I will look at them and just make sure. I mean, the big things that I'm looking for are to ensure that there's no dairy and no gluten in these recipes. And I should have mentioned to you guys, when you're doing those recipe searches and something comes up as not a 4-week gut protocol approved recipe, you can still look at it. 9 times out of 10, it's not approved because they have you like sprinkling cheese on top of it. So you could still do the recipe and just omit the cheese, which I kind of mentioned in my post. But I will look at them, Melissa, and make sure, or at least tell you which ones.
Yeah, I mean, I can take a look. I just wasn't sure, so I'll have to pay attention to that. And then are yours in some kind of printable format or just referencing online?
Well, I can send you, I created all that in Canva, so I can send you a
Okay.
PDF version of it.
Yeah, that would be great. It's just easier for me to print it out sometimes when I'm.
Okay, yeah, and I
Okay.
can send that to any of you guys if you want me to. Mine, it's a JPEG for posting on Facebook, but I can send the PDF to you, which might be easier. My phone's like, boom. Okay. Does anyone have anything else?
I have a quick one.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned some like dressings that, if you couldn't make them on your own, like there were a couple that you could buy that were pretty clean.
Jen
I
did,
forget
yeah.
what the 2 were. Yeah. Do you remember what they are? If not, maybe post them.
One was Primal Kitchen.
Yep.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Other was like.
I'll just message her.
Yeah, I'm not gonna remember what the other was. Like Mothers or.
It was something with an M. You're right. But I'll get back to you guys on that. We'll see.
Thank you.
I can also send you guys, and Melissa, you have this from the reset, but there are like 4 different really simple dressings. If you do have the time to make them, actually, I think I put one of them in my, my post. That's the easiest one, but let's see what Jen says. All right, you guys, anything else? No, listen, I know you're going to come up with questions because there will definitely be questions. So obviously, always feel free to reach out to me. What you'll see in the group on Monday is that there will start being a post every morning, and you'll be able to check in under the post, ask questions under the post, but you can obviously always reach out to me directly, and we can go from there. And what I would encourage you to do for your first week is really just make it easy on yourself and kind of keep your breakfasts the same if you don't mind, and your lunches the same if you don't mind. And then in terms of dinner, I always usually end up with a protein left and 2 veggies somehow at dinner, and sometimes a carb. And so for me, and maybe for you guys, that can look as simple as having grilled chicken or a piece of fish with your veggies on the side and your brown rice or your sweet potato or whatever it might be. You don't have to be following a menu or a particular recipe to make this work for you. So don't stress yourself out, even if it means like going to the grocery store and grabbing a rotisserie chicken and, having a rotisserie chicken with some steamed spinach and broccoli and brown rice, and you're done like in 5 minutes. And that's fine too. Try not to make it, too difficult on yourself in terms of preparation of anything. I mean, none of it takes long, but you're getting used to something new. So keep it easy on you. And then after that, you'll be a wizard at it. It doesn't take very long. All right, guys, thanks so much for hopping on. I have recorded this, so I will post it in the group. And then obviously reach out to me directly if you want to talk further about anything, and we will go from there. Have a good weekend, everyone, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks. You too.